liberal elite is they're judging people. They're judging people for the priority. Some people think the border is a #1 issue. And it is a huge potential domestic and terrorist threat coming across the border. And I completely understand that. And I agree with that. I think it's one of the top 2 issues in the country. But the Biden administration has done nothing. And so folks are saying, we demand a change. We don't like January 6th. We don't like the next election denial. But I need a change with these other things. And so the problem is, going back to your original question, for 2 years, all we've heard out of the liberal media and the liberal elite are, yeah, but January 6th and these trials, January 6th and these trials. They're not talking about things that real Americans want to talk about. And that's why Republicans are doing so well. They're talking about real issues. They're putting real ideas on the table. They're engaging in the conversation in the right way as elections are supposed to be done. And so the Democrats, again, have put all their marbles in, talking about trials and a threat to democracy. I mean, let's talk about the threat to democracy here. Think of all the folks that voted for Joe Biden. They did so, I didn't do it, but they did so, thinking that he was going to be making decisions for this country. Is he? Clearly not. Clearly he's not making decisions on a day-to-day basis for this country. So everyone voted for someone, and I can't tell you who's actually making those decisions. That is very undemocratic, right? That's not the democratic process. Vote for someone, but don't worry, someone else is going to be in charge, and we're not going to tell you who it is. I mean, really, can you tell me who's making all the day-to-day decisions out of the White House right now? No. At least with Trump, you might not agree with his positions. You might, we don't like his tweets. We don't like his personality sometimes. But at least he's making real decisions for the country and where things are going. And you can have a discussion about where that is. But literally, the Democrats are trying to now get behind Joe Biden, and they don't even know what they got. None of us do. So that gets people. That's not a disagreement of ideas anymore. That's just, well, what are we voting for? Who's literally going to be in charge if we vote for Joe Biden? But the Democrats are saying, don't worry, it's just not Trump. That's all you need to worry about. That's a failed message. That's a failed strategy. And then the reason is because it's not showing any respect to the American voter. It's not showing any respect to the fact that voters care about ideas and issues and policies and things that will impact their families. It's just saying, trust us, it's not Trump. And so I think this all plays in to a failed master plan on the Democrat side, that we're just going to bash on Trump, tell people he's scary, tell people he's going to bring America down, he's going to end America, the American process, the American experiment, a threat to democracy. We'll use all these big, scary words and be so polarizing and so fearful of him that America will have no doubt but not vote for him. That's not how it works, guys.
One of the things that former President Trump and J.D. Vance agree on is a need for higher tariffs, I think. Stronger tariffs protect manufacturing through tariffs. It's at odds with the traditional Republican conservative thinking. Tell me, how would that affect people in New Hampshire, people in the United States, and do you think that's a great idea?
Well, look, it has its pros and cons. I don't think I have a problem with it. I'm not an international financing expert per se. I'm a big believer in free trade. I mean, I love the concept of free trade. But again, seeing the free trade imbalance that we have across the world is, I think, driving the opportunity to make some different decisions on tariffs, to say, look, if you're going to tax our goods at X, then we're going to tax your goods at Y, right? To create a more balanced and even playing field. Now, that can have its pros and cons. In a place like New Hampshire, we do a lot of international business. We're a big aerospace and defense industry, and our manufacturing side, tourism is a big deal for us. So we deal a lot overseas, specifically Canada and Europe, Western Europe for the most part. So what happens in China obviously will affect America as a whole, just because so many of our products are bought there. That can have a trickle effect and a reverberation to Europe. Where, again, we want to make sure that there's a more balanced opportunity there. Anything I can do so my businesses can sell products a little easier out of Europe and be more competitive with the European products that are coming in here, that's a win, right? That helps our economy, that creates jobs, that puts more money into the economy, allows them to invest in capital and higher wages, all the whole 9 yards. So anything we can do, but understand that what happens in China and what happens in Europe might be very different. And then you have to add India into the mix, by the way. So you have to look at each area of the world a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, it always has to come back to what's the result? Is the net result better for the American worker? Is the net result better for the American business? That's all that matters.